Hi, I'm Andy Cranston. In this video I'm going to show you how to set SNMP passwords on a Raritan PDU. Setting the SNMP passwords through the web interface is quite straightforward. First thing we need to do is go onto the device settings, network services, SNMP. I'm going to disable versions 1 and 2C of SNMP and enable just version 3 because it's more secure. The next step, I then need to go on to user management. I'll use the built-in admin user, and if we go down to the SNMP settings, I'm going to enable SNMP3 for this user. I'm going to use authentication and privacy because it's more secure. I'm not going to use the admin password. I'm just going to type in a very simple password of this. It's going to be private1 with an uppercase P. Obviously, on your own systems, choose something more secure. And for the privacy password, I'm going to use private2, again with an uppercase P. We'll leave the authentication as SHA1 and the privacy as DES. Apply that. Now, if I open up a terminal session, I'm just going to recall command attack. So I'm going to use SNMP get. We're going to use version 3 of SNMP. We know the username is going to be admin. The authentication is going to be SHA1, and that's the password for the privacy password for the SHA1. And for DES, similarly, we've got private2. We're going to say that we're logging in with authentication and privacy. PX3 rack is the name of the rack, and we're going to ask it for the system name. So all being well, comes back and it tells us it's the PX3 rack. PX35260R Raritan iPDU. If we just go back onto the PDU, hop back onto the SNMP settings, and we can see it's got the string there. So that's SNMP3 passwords set up using the interface, no problem. Using the web interface is okay, but what if you had dozens or even hundreds of PDUs to configure? What we need is a smarter solution. The smarter solution is an expect script called set SNMP v3.exp. I've got it here in my current directory in my Linux box. Before we look at that script though, what we need to do is there's a file called snmp v3.conf. This is a configuration file that the set snmp v3.exp expect script uses. Let's have a look at it. It's a simple text file. There are comments that begin with the hash character, which are ignored. Blank lines are also ignored. So the interesting lines are the lines that begin with the keyword, the equal sign, and then a value. So let's go through these. User equals admin. That's the name of the user that we're going to log into the PDU as. User pass is the password for that user. It's currently set as the default password for Raritan Intelligent PDUs. We then specify the SNMP v3 user. In this case, we're going to use the admin user to set the SNMP details on. We're setting a security level that is both authentication and privacy, and then we're specifying the authentication protocol and authentication password. It's a slightly better password than I used on the web interface example earlier, and similarly with the privacy protocol password. So with all of that in place, all I need to do is run the expect script, and then I tell it the name of the host which I want to change. It logs in, it issues a lot of command line parameters to set the various SNMP passwords and protocols. So we can now prove that the new password is in effect. If I recall this command. Now if I run this again, it won't work because we have an authentication failure because I've changed the password. So I need to specify the slightly more secure passwords of really private 1 and really private 2. This should now work, and now it's working. So that was a lot quicker than going into the web interface. What if you had several PDUs to configure? Well, this gets very easy because you can write a very simple shell script. Here's one. It's just one example of a way of doing things. I set up a list of the PDUs that I'm going to change. So I've got 2 PDUs in this case, but this list could be as long as you like. And then for each host in that list, we simply run the command. the set SNMP v3.exp command. So let's just run that shell script. And all this does is it logs into each of the PDUs in turn and sets the details accordingly. So if you have a lot of PDUs to configure, this is the way to do it. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a copy of this software to test for yourselves, please get in touch. My contact details will be on the screen next.